Hey guys, welcome to Chats with Carissa, and it is me, Carissa. Now, you will not believe the evening that I've had trying to film my chat show. I was filming it on my laptop, and then I decided no because the audio on my laptop tends to be pretty bad. So then I was like, okay, I'll do it on my camera. So I set up like my own little tripod thing for my camera using my camera box, my tea box and a few DVDs, and thought it was going completely well until I realised I exhausted the battery and it stopped within 2 minutes of me filming. So that happened, and then I thought, oh, I didn't really notice it at the end. I thought maybe something just happened. Tried it again, and as it did like its little zoom out, zoom in thing that it did when it went to go turn off, I looked at it and I said the battery was exhausted. So I need to fix that. It could also be because I have a few other videos on there, so I might not just be able to deal with it at the moment. So hopefully my next video will have better image quality and better sound quality. So at the moment you're going to have to deal with it because I will end up going back to GoPro. I decided to use my laptop as an experiment to see whether it would be easier, often because down the bottom I can see how much longer I have left, but I don't think that's going to work because the audio is pretty shit by my computer. So sorry everyone, hopefully this is the last time you have to deal with it being on my laptop. As you can see, I have a completely different background. That's because I moved my bed. So my bed is currently now, it's hard to explain, but facing the window. So I'll quickly show you. There's me bed, right there. And there's me window with the green thing. And my bed used to be there, but I moved it. So now I have my legs up on my bed because it's a bit more comfortable and it's easy to rest the laptop there, even though every now and then it kind of moves. So hopefully it doesn't move too much. So I did that this evening when I probably should have been doing assignments. And I am sorry for not doing my chat show on Friday, but I had an assessment due, and it was also my dad's birthday. So even though I messaged my dad via Facebook, and I called him and I texted him, happy birthday for Friday, Dad. Hope you had a great day and I hope Mum spoiled you. Sorry, I can't really talk tonight. I think because I'm losing my voice, and I think because I've done this like at least 5 times already. And it's annoying me because it should have worked. But my topic of discussion this evening is my iPhone, or iPhones. Now, as you can see, it's nicely cracked right here. There's a big crack right here. That happened because I dropped it on the floor. Now, not on my floor in my room because that's carpet, but on a hard floor. I was on my way to the gym and I had to go to the bathroom, and I was about to put my phone in my bag and it dropped on the floor and it cracked, and that annoyed me. And that brings me to my topic of discussion: why do phones not last a long time? And it is an interesting discussion. iPhones do not last a long time. They really don't. Mine's an iPhone 5S and they've already got an iPhone 7 out. And I have been informed that an iPhone 8 will be coming out at the end of this year. So when I upgrade, I probably won't have enough to upgrade to the iPhone 8, so I might have to get the iPhone 7. Not quite sure I'll deal with that dilemma when it comes to it. But I'm so annoyed, as you would be when your iPhone breaks. And it annoys me that they don't last long. So usually once you're finished with your contract of 2 years, they start dying. Why they start dying, I don't understand. Their phones, the modern era, surely they should be able to make phones that last quite a while. Because they did back in the olden days. Well, not in the olden days, but back before we had iPhones, phones lasted quite a long time. I think because back then, having an actual phone, like a portable phone to take out with you, was like a luxury. Whereas now everyone has it, so they're just like, it's easy to just keep on upgrading. Personally, in my opinion, I think we should go back to how they were when phones lasted quite a while. I still have one of my old phones. I have, when the web sliders came out, I have one of them, and I also have an E60, an E360, E63, something like that. One of the ones that looks like a BlackBerry. I still have that, and it still works. But my only problem is, I don't know where the charger went. Which is annoying, because I always lose accessories to phones. Like, I always lose the charger cord, and I can never find it. And it always annoys me, and it annoys my dad particularly, because my mum doesn't have an iPhone. So when I'm at home and I can't find my cord, I have to use my dad's charger, which annoys him because that means he goes to work and his phone's not charged. So sorry, Dad, but it's not my fault that I can never find it. But if they made it easier in finding phones and finding cords and having better phones, then we wouldn't have this dilemma. Because it's really annoying. What annoys me with a passion as well is when people have a phone, they have the 7, and they have it for like a year or even less, and then they decide, then they're like, oh, I need to upgrade to the new one. Do you really need to upgrade? And I'd hate to think whether if they're paying it outright or with a plan, because either way, it's going to be expensive. If you pay outright, then I suppose it's probably going to be a lot more cheaper, because you wouldn't pay however much it is, like $2,000 when the phone comes out at that exact time. Whereas, if you pay it outright. But if you play with a plan, you've got to keep paying off that phone. So imagine if you're one of the people who gets a plan for a phone. That would have happened at some point. You would have at least had a phone with a plan on it, and would have had to upgrade, and started to upgrade and use the same SIM, but you still would have had to pay off that old phone. But then you would have also had to pay for your new phone. So I don't understand. You're constantly out of money because you're upgrading every single now and then. Them people are probably the ones who don't understand what it is to have a phone for such a long period of time. And that's the thing, do they get sick of having a phone for such a long time? If I could, I'd have my iPhone 5 for quite a while, but I can't because it's broken. Well, it's not broken, it still works, but if it can at least work for the next 3 to 4 months, I will be happy. Even then, I probably won't have enough to afford a new one, but hopefully I will be able to afford a new one before I go to America. But it's just annoying, I don't understand how there's all them people, when the new phones come out, they always wait in line to be the first ones to get it, and it's everyone else is going to get it, and it's probably cheaper if you hold off. But I think because a lot of people like to be, yeah, I got the new phone, I just got it, look at it, and I'm just kind of I don't really care. Because, most of them are pretty much the same. The iPhone 5S to the iPhone 6, I think, size-wise, it was different. They started getting bigger in terms of size, because then it went from the iPhone 6 to the iPhone 6S to the 6 Plus, which ended up being humongous. And then apparently the 7, I think the 7 Plus or something like that is even bigger. So that's annoying. And then I don't know about the 8. And then the 7 had a wider screen and didn't have an headphone jack thing down the bottom. Apparently it doesn't have that little thing where you put your headphones in, which for some reason would annoy me, probably because you have to then use Bluetooth headphones, and I don't like Bluetooth headphones. I mean, it can be handy for certain things, if you're running, or if you're, listening to music in your room, but I'm thinking if you're listening to music in your room, you'd probably just play it out loud anyway. And it would just annoy me, because a lot of the time, Bluetooth headphones that people get are them really bulky ones, whereas if you have the simple little earbud ones, they go a lot easier into they go into your ear. They make you more deaf than the normal ones, but they're easier to pack, because you can just kind of roll them up and then put them in your bag, or put them with every other electronic device you own. So that's what annoys me. Phones annoy me to an extent. They're good when you need them for ringing people and getting in contact with people, which is probably what my next chat show is going to be about, is the way that it's changed in terms of contacting people. But I've always wondered, like, what it would be like in 20 years. You know, when you think about it, you know, my parents didn't have iPhones. And over the, course of time, they've changed. You know, when I was little, they didn't have iPhones. They were kind of just introducing the concept of like a portable phone you could take out with you. And I remember the first phone I ever got was like this Roxy flip phone. So like they went from flip phones to like, Blueberry type phones to, then they started moving into more, as technology increased, they started moving into more accessible phones, so like touch phones that you could touch using your fingers, some that you could use touching that with them little pen things. So it's changed over time. But I kind of think if we could have phones that were like how they were back then, so lasted long enough, so many people would be saving money. So many would. And that's the thing, like, you could then upgrade when you felt like upgrading. If you feel like upgrading after like 3 months of having your phone, by all means, do that. But like, if my phone lasted quite a while, I'd be happy. And then I'd be spending probably more money on a phone in 5 years' time that was newer. But I suppose in terms of, business and keeping the whole Apple going, obviously because I'm talking about iPhone, so Apple is the brand, I suppose then yes, you would use it, continuously keep giving out iPhones and keep creating them to keep the money coming through. But I just find it annoying that like it has to come out every single year. And I kind of wonder what would ever happen if they missed a year. Would people then kind of forget to get them? Would people then feel strange if they didn't get one? It's quite an interesting thing. And I also wonder, like, whether in 20 years' time, whether iPhones will still exist. Or whether they'll have a new product, maybe like they might have oranges that are phones. And I also wonder whether they'll be bigger. iPhones these days are getting a bit more bigger. So I wonder whether back then you'll be basically walking around with a laptop screen as a phone. Because that's the thing, Apple brought out iPads, which are basically like a small computer in some sense. Or a bigger version of a phone, you just can't make phone calls on them. So it is interesting. And I might even do a chats with Carissa about Apple in general. Because they've created some amazing stuff over the past few decades. Over like the last few years, I should say. But to be honest, I didn't actually know what to talk about because nothing really exciting has happened. Until that happened, I was like, I should talk about phones. And it's interesting, how over the course of time phones have just changed. I saw, when I went to Vietnam, Cambodia, I think 3 of the tour guides that we had still had iPhone 4s. And I was quite shocked that, they were still working. I mean, I don't know if it's because they're a bit more delayed in, like, getting phones, like whether they're, a bit behind the world in getting the iPhone 7, but I suppose also because over there, phones could be a lot more expensive because they're more of a luxury item. But I just thought it was interesting, I was like, my iPhone 4 is completely dead. Well, it's dead when it has a SIM card in it, but when it doesn't have a SIM card in it, it still works. I was using it the other day because my phone here is plays up every now and then, so I like to have at least the alarm on that phone, because at least then I can still go to class without sleeping through. So it's interesting how phones have changed. And it's interesting how, like, there's places around the world that still have phones. Like, I think, even getting back to that, one of my tour guides, when I was in Vietnam, Cambodia, even had a flip phone. Like, I don't know which ones they were. My mum had one and my brother had one, but then you could get, like, I think you could get a red one or a black one, and they had like a little, like there was like the flip phony bit, then there was like a little square bit, and that would be like tell you all the information. So it might be like, you know, missed call from this number. They had one of them, and I was so shocked. I was like, oh my god, they have that. They still have that phone. Like, it still works. So I was quite shocked at that it still worked. I thought that was heaps cool. But it's interesting, you know, how, you know, even now, like in Australia and America and England and, you know, European countries as well, how, you know, we all go nuts over new iPhones, whereas, you know, there's probably people in a lot more poorer countries who probably don't own an iPhone or own still an iPhone 4, like some of the people in Vietnam. Because an iPhone 6 over there would be considered a very luxury item. So always take what you have for granted, because there are some people out there who don't have everything that we have. And I'm going to talk about Vietnam, Cambodia in one of my chat shows. So if you're excited to know about Vietnam, Cambodia, let me know if there's anything you particularly want to know. But that ends tonight's chat show. I want to thank you all for watching. As I said, I apologise for this audio on this one. I did try it on my camera. I don't know what happened, so I need to just give it a bit more of a try, see what happens. Go back to my GoPro, because this experimentation of this using my computer did not work. And I will be bringing back my dances before my videos, because someone else asked me to bring that back. But I want to give a shout out to Callum Hunter, dear friend of mine, who is probably one of my biggest fans here, who will be appearing on my show sometime soon. Either probably next week, because this week is a bit of a busy week, because we have our Austin College ball on, so you get all nicely dolled up, look all nice and pretty. The theme is circus, but I don't have anything circus, except I have a red dress, so that could possibly work. And also give a shout out to my friend Lachlan Donaldson as well, who is also a subscriber of my channel. Shout out to him, because he is also one of my biggest fans as well. So it's good to have friends who are fans as well, and it's good to know that they watch. And I'm currently in the process of doing a thumbnail, so that should be exciting. See what that holds. But as I said, I will try my new audio device next week. See if my camera works. So have a good evening and see you.